What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pack 16 Conference Dynasty. Thank you so much for tuning in. Season 2 is underway. And, guys, I know that you know this, that people that have been here for a while, anytime you're covering these big conferences or these big leagues, you gotta do your best to cover almost everything there is to know. Like transfers, where are these custom players at? Trying to get custom players in the game, get them all into each one of these teams, right? How do you cover all of the recruiting? How do you keep everybody up to date? Well, that's probably the toughest part about this series, is because you lose a lot of people's interest, I feel like. Like, once you start going onto these deep rabbit holes of things and people don't care about one team or they care more about the other team, it just takes a long time. That's probably the one detriment that I have with running series like this, is that it just takes a long time. We don't get through a ton of seasons. And sometimes these series last for a really, really, really long time, and it might hold the channel back a little bit, but I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking it. I'm liking bringing these videos to you guys, but just kind of let you know where my thoughts are with why things take forever. So anyway, let's get into a little setup, just a little setup for you guys before we get into actual week 1 action. So we're going to take one quick look here at the preseason All-Americans, because you're going to see some familiar names. We're going to look at the national, so the all of college football list. You're going to see familiar names like Trevor Etienne, Drew Aller, of course, that those guys should be up there, Damian Martinez, but players that are like our custom guys or our team builder guys. Jair Ortiz, currently a D- in playing time, which is not true. I think Dalton has to reset his depth chart. And I'm pretty sure Jair Ortiz is definitely the number 1 guy for sure out there, but he's actually in the Heisman race as well. I think he's 4th right now in the Heisman race, so he's looking to have a big season. We've also got a couple transfer guys that have come from team builder teams over to real life schools, like Lennox Reed. He was a Vegas State top target, and he decided that he wanted to move on to bigger and better things, so he's now out here at Ohio State. You've also got Eric Massimino. He left. He was a big-time player for Honolulu College. Me personally, I'm glad that he's gone, because I can't stand to go up against him. He's one of the most premier pass rushers in this entire college football landscape. So now he's out there at USC, and pretty much that is it for all of our custom guys as far as the first team All-Americans go. You got Omarion Hampton. Romulus Suggs is also a trader. He's moving on from Honolulu College over to Clemson. And then when we just scroll down a little bit further, we've got another guy here on our radar for custom players, Isaiah Baptiste. And that's pretty much it, other than like Bear Alexander. Of course, we know him from USC. Sean Coles from Idaho Tech. And that is it for the national look at preseason All-Americans. So let's now head out here to the Pac-12 and get an idea who's on our list. Do we have any custom guys, or are they all the CPU dudes? Well, we've got Bourgeois as a custom guy, Barry Hill, Jaden Parker. We've got, let's see, anybody else? Gregory Bryan's another custom guy. We've got Tevarua Vaki, Coco Bop is another custom. A lot of these guys are like not CPU renamed, but they're named by me and my little broski. So we named a lot of these guys. Had a lot of input from the community on how to rename these CPU guys, but anyway, they're our team builder dudes, so I'm excited to kind of follow them around, but so kind of that you get an idea of who's boasting all the talent. And so far, to me, what it looks like, there's a lot of Idaho Tech representation, there's a lot of Albuquerque representation, Fresno A&D, Bellingham State's up there a couple times, right? Let's take a look at the second preseason, the second team here. Rocky Adkins, DeAndre Mason, you got Lucius Tapper, Sash, McGarry, Aloysius Shirley. Love that name. Dirk Tenley, Dwayne Rome. He actually had to come back. He had to be convinced to come back from Dalton. So glad to see he's back. Lamar Houston, and yeah, no true custom guys on this list. Conference standings, I believe that this is just a snapshot of how things left off last year, right? So we've got Bellingham, we got Metro, Fresno, Albuquerque. It should be probably a guess anyway at who should be finishing first, but take a look at Northern Utah, by the way, guys. Team that really improved. 87 overall now, with an 89 overall offense. They look to be pretty darn good. I think Idaho Tech should be bouncing back this season. Multnomah, they're kind of in a weird spot because they lost a lot of talent. Santa Fe State, we did get a little bit better. Honolulu, I think they're going to take a major step back. That 81 overall, it's not the best overall rating for a college team here in College Football 25, but I think whenever you lose a Stratton, you lose a Suggs, you still got those weapons at wide receiver, but you lose a Massimino on the defensive end. That's not going to be easy, so I think that they're going to have a tough time. Bellingham State, guys, I think that they're probably going to be the dark horse team. I think everyone's talking about Metro. Everyone's going to be talking about the Artists and Magic Hendricks. The Arrows, of course, winning, right, getting to the college football playoff, winning the conference. But I think the Bellingham State Mighty Puffins, who came on strong last season, I think that they're the team to watch out for here. If anybody, if you want a real big, deep, dark horse sleeper, might be Northern Utah, because I think they're going to be a lot better. Now, one thing here to watch out for some of the bad teams, like Anchorage, I don't think is going to be that bad. I think they're going to be improved. But the North Pole Kringles, let me talk about them in just a second, because OMI got a really good quarterback that I covered in the last episode. But UMR, I think that they're going to be one of the worst teams again. I don't think that they had enough influx of talent this season through transfer portal or through freshmen alike. But North Pole, want to talk to you guys about something about North Pole, because the Fantasy Challenge winner got to choose where the mega prospect got to go, and he chose North Pole. So who is this mega prospect? Well, it's the quarterback, Paulie Bear, 6'4", 210, number 11. Look at him. He's got the flak jacket. Apparently Rico Ramos said, I want him to have the flak jacket to make him look like Santa Claus. He came in as a 2-star left tackle, so then I had to find a way to create another quarterback, and this is what we did. So just took over a lineman and then made him into a quarterback. So he should be an improviser. I tried really hard to get the game to recognize him as an improviser, not a scrambler. But here's his ratings. Here's what he's got working with him. So he's got an 88 throw power. He's very elusive, very agile, very speedy, very accurate quarterback. So this should be really good for the North Pole Kringles here, trying to get this program turned around. So Paulie Bear, next up-and-coming star in the Pac-16. All right, guys, so with that being said, I don't really show you guys the recruiting. I'm going to show you my board just so you know kind of my idea about like who I'm going after, kind of what the strategy is. So you can see kind of we're still going to try to hit quarterbacks pretty hard here. We got this guy, Bassinez, Stephen Rhodes. We're going to hit running backs pretty hard here because we got Jaden Edwards-George as a sophomore. Lee Brubaker's on his way out. So we're going to try our best to try to get as many running backs into this stable here as we can. Wide receivers, looking at some nice guys here. Physical wide receivers I like to go after. Look at how we're going after the size and the height. 6'5" for Connors, 6'5" for Booker, 6'5" for Sanchez. You kind of get the idea, right? But you guys know how recruiting works. I'm not going to update you guys on everything that's happening with recruiting. It's just way too much. It's between myself, Dalton, Keneal with Fresno A&E, Northern Utah. There's 5 teams to cover for recruiting updates. I mean, I guess I could try to update you guys on how those things are going, but I think after a while it gets a little too crazy to try to keep up with how everything is going. And plus, again, I don't want to focus so much on Josh Bassinez when eventually he's just going to be turned into a rename, you know, with patrons and channel members, and you've got channel points and things like that. If you want Josh Bassinez, you can rename him to Raul Rodriguez, you know, with channel points. So that's just kind of how that's going to work. So just a little reminder how recruiting is going to go again this season. We're not going to do a whole lot of covering and talking about Ethan Cotter and Derek Tuttle. We're just going to go with it and let the chips fall where they may, and I'll reveal those results with you guys at the very end of the season. So without further ado, let's go ahead and advance the week and get into season number 2, week number 0. But just as a reminder, nobody that's a user team is playing in week number 0. But we do have a matchup, Buffalo and Multnomah State. We've also got Honolulu College taking on Stanford. And really that's it for our Pac-16 cast and crew. But let's go ahead and simulate these games out, and let's see the results. I'll cover those with you. All right, so week number 0 is in the books. We are now here at week number 1. Take a look at scores and schedules across the college football landscape here for the Pac-16 is where we need to go to. And we do get a win for Multnomah State, 29-27. And Honolulu College does survive without, of course, Romulus Suggs and their quarterback, Tyler Stratton. Of course, Stratton going to the NFL. We got Suggs transferring out there to Clemson. So I'm curious to see like how the new regime really performed here against this game. Tough game against Stanford. So through the rushing attack, 31 attempts, 80 yards, 3 touchdowns, 259 through the air, 6 for 15 on third down. Excuse me, that's not too bad. 40%, not terrible. But they actually didn't have any turnovers, which really probably won them this game. So Jaleel Boatwright, a sophomore, red shirt, field general. He's going to be the guy that's going to have to man this ship without a lot of their star players. Lucas Olson, a sophomore. He's up to an 82 overall now. Boatwright actually had some run there in the running game. You had Cordova McGarry, Vitolio, Russell, Rayside, Pilgrim, and Boss making a couple catches, making a couple grabs. So, hey, you know, I don't show a lot of the defensive numbers here because a lot of that stuff is, you know, you can read into it a little bit too much and it doesn't tell you enough of the story. Unless you, of course, you're looking at sacks or INTs and TFLs, but, you know, I'm looking at some of the D-line guys. You know, we've got Vigo Dulce with a TFL. We got Damari Jonas, Kiki Kale. My brother named this guy, so, you know, hey, I don't really know what he was thinking there. But we got Jonas and Getz with a sack apiece, and then the one interception there by Nick Reeder. So good game there for Honolulu College. Way to get a W here early on in the season. But Multnomah, I'm a little concerned about, only beating Buffalo by 2. They did hold the offense down to about 268 yards, so that was good. But I'm a little concerned that, you know, they gave up 27 points to Buffalo. Okay, that defense is like a sieve right now. I'm a little concerned here. Richie Watts, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, but really the name of the game here for Multnomah, I want to look at their offense. I want to see if Oren Sparks is making the right decision to be coming back as a senior quarterback. He could have elected to go to the NFL draft. I expect him to put up some big numbers. If he doesn't, he's like a round 3, round 4 type of quarterback. He's just one of those dudes that's going to get ripped for the fact that he's in more of a running style offense. He's not a pure passer. He is labeled as a field general, but I think that he's just more of a running guy, you know. So we'll see. 58%, not really cutting it, I don't think. So it's just one game, but it's against Buffalo, right? We'll see how he does against Pac-16 competition. But we got Boris Prieto, a sophomore, receiving back, 88 overall. Always a good guy to have in your backfield, right? They just lost Brad Hunt, and they also lost another guy. I think it was Ezigwu, actually. No, he's a 77. Either way, they did lose 2 of their running backs going to the NFL. Now you got Boris here, finally getting some run. He's a sophomore as an 88 overall player, as a captain as well. So he's definitely pretty darn good. Juquan Orlando is a sophomore as well. So they still got some people. They got some guys on this offense. Cervantes Corsair, a sophomore now. He was a freshman custom guy last year, so now he's kind of coming into his own as a sophomore now. Best overall receiver, but did not quite put up the numbers here in this game against Buffalo. It actually opened up Casper McMillan as an 83 overall player. So 6 catches for 113. And hey, it was a good W. Good W there for Multnomah. If it had been a loss, it would have been a bad loss. So we turn our attention now to week number 1. And what I want you guys to do in the live chat or the comment section, doesn't matter where, I'm still going to give you guys credit for where credit's due, but you can earn channel points right here, right now, if you predict the correct winner. So of course, this is a season number 2 preview video. We're not going to have any gameplay here today, but we will have gameplay on New Year's Day. So something to look forward to for that. But each team that you get correct, the winner, then you'll get 50 channel points for each team that you got picked correctly. So for example, I'm going to run through all of my picks going into week number 1 and offer you a little bit of rationale on why I'm going that route. So Honolulu College, I think that they beat Georgia Southern. I think that offense is still a legit force to be reckoned with. And I don't think Georgia Southern is better than them anyway. So Honolulu College in Honolulu, I think that they're going to get the victory. Next matchup, Colorado A&T going to 23rd ranked Penn State. So, don't fall in love with the number next to the name, right? 23rd is pretty close to 25th and not being ranked, right? So I like Colorado A&T. I don't think that they're getting a lot of love in the polls. I think they got a really good quarterback with Elijah Spears. I think they find a way to get a victory on the road in week 1. Multnomah State over Temple, pretty easy matchup for me. I will take Multnomah State. I think that they've got way too much firepower. OMI, I like the new quarterback, the athlete turned quarterback that they got in the recruiting class. I think I'll take them over Wake Forest. Kind of a leap of faith there. Trusting OMI, we've never seen this quarterback play. We have no idea how he does, what this offense is going to look like, but I'll take the Commando Ferrets there. Albuquerque in Arizona, this one admittedly, as a disclaimer, is not going to be played. So Dalton, unfortunately, could not get this game done, so we did have to simulate it, so just FYI. But I will take Albuquerque there. North Pole over UMR. That's my pick. I think Pauly Bear shows out. I don't think UMR has enough talent. I think that they lost a bunch of talent. I'm going to take North Pole in that one. Vegas State, Louisville. I will take Vegas State. I think that even at out-of-conference matchup, Louisville and Vegas State, they match up nicely together. They're very similar, but I'll take the Banditos. Anchorage over FCS Northwest. I think that's an easy pick. Sedona State, Stanford. I'd like Stanford to get a comeback victory after losing in week 0 against Honolulu College. I think they find a way. Santa Fe State and Texas. If you want to go the safe route, go Texas. They're a top 10 team, but Santa Fe State is going to have something to say about that for sure. Bellingham State and Idaho Tech. I'm going to take Bellingham State. I do like what they do on offense. They're very creative. They like to run the football. Case Kelton, very good quarterback when he's allowed time to throw. So I still like Bellingham in that matchup, but Idaho Tech is a very good program, very good team still. But I think Bellingham State with the user is going to help them out. San Jose State, Fresno. I think this is probably the outside of Multnomah State and Temple. This is a definite layup right here. You got the user versus San Jose State. I think Fresno A&D and Magic Hendricks, they get the job done in that one, and I think it's probably blowout fashion. Like if you wanted my guarantee, my stamp of approval, my guarantee here, it's that one right there. Fresno A&D, my lock. It's the Artists getting a big win. Now this one, Northern Utah against LA Metro. We know the bugaboo right here for the Golden Swarm. It's the turnovers. LA Metro, they've got a really good defense. They got a lot of playmakers on both sides of the football. They're not going to be an easy team to beat here, especially on the road. So for Northern Utah, it's the same old story, but it is a different year. It's a new year, but same old story. Don't turn the ball over. Find a way to take care of it and get the W. So guys, that is it for the week number 1, season 2 preview. Week 2 will be a sim-based week, and as much as I didn't want that to happen, because we do have some really big matchups in week number 2, I do just want to keep it kind of brief, not reveal anything that might be a little private to some of these guys, but I know that we've had some guys that were sick that couldn't really, dedicate some time to this. They're also going through some personal matters, some family issues, things happening there, so just keep every one of the users here in your thoughts and prayers, even if you're not religious. Just keep them in your thoughts. Just think about these guys and all the effort that they're putting in to meet these deadlines, to get this gameplay in for you, to enjoy the series. And I know that those things are more important than a video game series. That the other thing too is that they're giving their time. They're giving their time for free. I'm not paying them. I'm not giving them anything extra for this. Like they're big time supporters of the channel. They've been here forever. Their friendship means more to me than just sitting there and saying like, get your game in, like this is a stupid little series on YouTube, right? Hate to be self-deprecating about that, because it is my series. It is my baby. I know you guys enjoy it, but some things are more important than just Pixel People and a YouTube series, right? So sim week for number 2. We won't have a little pick'em contest there. We're just going to focus on week number 1 for gameplay. That'll be on New Year's Day. Week 2 will be simmed. You'll get the results of those on New Year's Day after those week 1 games are completed. And then we will have the pick'em game coming back
for week number 3. Fantasy Challenge, by the way, we'll pick up back again, probably like week 5, I think, is when we'll probably hit it. Just want to get you guys familiar with how that these players are performing and who's doing what, who's the stats leaders, you know, because every year is different, and I don't want you guys to get screwed in week 1 action when you don't have any idea who anybody is, right? We got to get some gameplay. We got to see these guys in action and get a good feel before you can start making your picks on those players. So Fantasy Challenge is coming, and I'll catch you guys back here on New Year's Day for week 1 action and week 2 simulation, week 3 preview. Hopefully that all made sense. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Leave a like if you like this thing. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.